All right, we are here. We are back on the ML Sports Platter. It is all presented by Western New York OTB and the Phoenix Sports Restaurant, as well as Batavia Downs Gaming. This place is absolutely packed. I think it's busier than last year. I think so. It's a mob scene here. They're giving away some T-shirts. They're giving away some amazing stuff here. Glasses. I just gave away 30 prizes myself. This is just a great thing. So get down here for the entire day, Derby Day, here at the Phoenix Sports Restaurant. Grab some drinks, grab some food, and place your bets over next door at the OTB. I wanted to bring in a very special guest. He came on my podcast last year. He's a guy who knows a thing or two about the horses. He may lose, but he also wins quite a bit. And it's Brian Dahl, who is just a huge Mets fan as well. We all have something wrong with us. And yes, I did say that as the on-field host of the Syracuse Mets. I'm talking about the New York Mets, of course. BD, what's up, buddy?
Mike Lindsay, always good to be here with you. A great party that you always host up here. Western Regional OTB is a great place to be on Derby Day. Get you pumped up for the day and ready to go.
Omaha Beach, as you know, favorite, not in, respiratory issue. How does that impact this race?
I think tremendously. I mean, that was my horse. Everything about Omaha Beach was a horse. It was what you wanted was a horse for the Derby. That was that horse. Never gave up. Always dug in. It really kind of opens up, I think, the race tremendously. I mean, Baffert has his three firers in here. You can always look at the Baffert angle with Titus and Roadster.
Yep.
Titus is going to be my secondary horse. I think that's the horse that with Omaha Beach scratching. I'm going to go on Titus. I just think that you got Jose Ortiz, you got Mott. It's always a good battle.
Jose Ortiz, by the way, underrated. I mean,
very underrated because his brother gets most of the pub.
Irad, yeah.
Yeah, Irad Ortiz gets most of the pub. Jose is right there. He's always up on the leading jocks in Saratoga, which I always look at on the Naira Circus. So, I'm going to land on Tatis. So,
all right. So, you do a lot of wagering. I barely do any. I think I made a wager at the Derby with my buddies when we were maybe a couple of Stellas in. What's your approach today?
So my approach today is I try to do as much research as possible early. You're going to have to watch where the track is going. Like right now, the first 4 out of the first 5 races, the number 5 horse run. So you're kind of wondering, is there a bias on that figure? Granted, the last was on turf. It wasn't on dirt. You got to take a look at it a little bit. But, you're just kind of, Derby, you're taking a shot. It's just, you got to have a conviction with a horse. Unfortunately, the horse that I had the conviction with scratched. So you got to kind of regroup and see where you are with those. So
we got our guys here too, Matt Graham and Greg Klein, who, have you ever heard of those guys?
A couple times. I heard some guy, Matt Graham, he sells insurance, I think. So
He does. Like a good neighbor, Matt Graham is there for you, or whatever the slogan is. So one of the, I think, amazing storylines is with Omaha Beach not being in this field, Mike Smith, who I think right now is the best jockey in the world, this is my opinion, he has gone over to Cutting Humor and instantaneously makes him a contender, right? Because that's how good Smith is, right?
Let's put it this way. You wouldn't put money on Cutting Humor unless Smith was on it. Now, and that's coming from me, who I'm a Pletcher guy. Pletcher trains him, but I wasn't considering it in Hall. Now that Smith is on him, you take a second look. That being said, don't cry for Corey Lorraine. He gets the share of the jockey no matter what happens in this race. So he gets paid regardless of what happens today. So not a bad day at the office for him.
I'm a big Joel Rosario fan as well. I remember interviewing him in Albany in 2013. He's from the Dominican. I have bullshitted with him over some Spanish licks. He laughed at a few of them. So he holds kind of a special place in my heart, although my memorabilia collection for jockeys doesn't have his autograph yet. So that's a goal this summer. What do you make of Game Winner in this race? I like Game Winner a lot, and I know it's wide open. Could win it, could lose it, but I'm really getting on that horse, man.
So Game Winner, I think, is a must-use on any kind of exotic that you're going to do, exactas, trifectas, superfectas, any kind of daily doubles, pick threes. he just shows up. He's like the secondary to me of Omaha Beach because you know he's going to be there. You know the type of run he's going to get. And honestly, Baffert has pumped him up. I think that Baffert was slowly playing him throughout the course of the prep season to be pointed to today. So I think he's dangerous. I really, really do. And I think even in the slop, I think he's okay. He's never run in it, but he's bred for the slop. So if it does get bad, I think he'll be fine.
You're here every year. Again, Brian Dahl is with us, ML Sports Platter, horse racing consultant on the program. That's what we're going to call him. I'm not even paying him for the spot. I'm just making him talk because he's smart. You come to this place every year for a long time. Is this the busiest it's ever been? I mean, look at this place.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely one of the busiest that I've ever seen. I mean, we even have a reserve table that no one's using, and people are just packed around.
That's
here.
the Greg Klein table.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he needs a table for himself. He's that big. So, no.
Yeah, but how about that T-shirt he's wearing?
He's got a good T-shirt. We try to battle each other on his T-shirts. He won today. So.
Yeah, my wife is hot, it says.
Yeah, so, but...
You're going to wear a shirt that says Mike Lindsley's hot.
I will put that on a shirt with your good cartoon character that you have, so... No, this place is definitely hot, but it's great environment. It's funny because I like it like a warm blanket. You can just come here, you see the same people every single year. Yep. You just kind of talk to them. Everyone knows each other.
The guarantees are in. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, so I'll wrap with this so we can get back to it here. The Derby is a Derby, right? It sets up the Triple Crown. You got to win the Derby, obviously, to win the Triple Crown. It does a lot of things. But Brian, you know this, long term for the whole year, this race, for being the Derby and everything that it is, the bucket list item and all the rest, and I went 3 years ago, to me, one of the things that's never talked about with the Derby is that it sets up the rest of the year, like beyond the Triple Crown. It sets up Saratoga. It sets up who's going to train on the Oklahoma track. It sets up the Breeders' Cup. It sets up all that stuff. It sets up the Haskell.
Yep, absolutely. This is the kickoff to the whole year for the 3-year-old, really realm. You're going to see who can potentially be the horse of the year starting today. It's up there. People who are going to run in this race are going to run at Saratoga. They're going to run at Belmont. And then you can kind of see where they go from here. So it's definitely the kickstart of the year, and there's nothing like it.
All right, Brian Dahl, why don't you throw out your Twitter handle? We'll try to get you some more followers. You have more than Matt and Greg, or what's that look like?
There's nothing. The only Twitter follow I care about is ML Sports, so that's the only one that matters. And then Paula Duke is always a good one.
But it's Big Blue something, right? At
Cuse Big Blue.
Yeah, Cuse Big Blue, which means he likes Syracuse and the New York Football Giants. Oh, by the way, I can't let you go with Daniel Jones. Really?
Yeah. Daniel Jones was the. Yeah, twist the knife a little bit. I will say this.
I'm happier they have Dungy on the team.
Klein likes the Dungy one who will never play again.
He might hurdle over a Redskin, though.
Yeah, I will tell you this. Jones was my quarterback. I didn't want him at 6.
Right.
But at the same point, if that's your conviction, you have to take him there and not worry about it. But I think he'll be fine.
Well, the Cutcliffe connection is there. I mean, Cutcliffe coached Eli at Ole Miss. Cutcliffe's at Duke. He coached Daniel Jones there. They picked Daniel Jones to get, basically under Eli Manning. I get that. One of the other big things, too, on this is that when you take a look at the entire picture for the Giants, I actually don't like their second pick more than Daniel Jones. You went out and got Dexter Lawrence from Clemson, nice player, but he's a 2-down run stuffer. I mean, that was puzzling to me. There were a million value picks better than that.
Especially with what they have inside with Tomlinson and Hill.
Correct.
So he was kind of a duplicative.
Yep.
The pick of the draft to me was Julian Love in the 4th round. That was an excellent pick at that point. He could play inside and start, maybe get him on the outside. He is going to be the pick of the draft for that Giants draft, I think. And they shored up their secondary. They took 3 cornerbacks. Ballantine, unfortunate, sounds like he's going to be okay. And DeAndre Baker in the first, trading back up into the first round to get him, stud from Georgia. Give me those Georgia Bulldogs any day of the week in the secondary. Those guys are studs.
Brian Dahl, horse racing consultant during Derby time. We'll get with him over Saratoga time. You should have gone into media, my man.
Well, I went to school for it, but I like to get paid.
Yeah, he didn't follow through like the rest of our smart guys. Brian, thanks a lot. Enjoy it.
Always pleasure, Mike. Thank you.
Brian Dahl, get him on Twitter at Cuse Big Blue. Of course, I'm Mike Lindsley here at the Phoenix Sports Restaurant and the Phoenix OTB. It's the ML Sports Platter presented by Empower Federal Credit Union and, of course, our friends at Bryant and Stratton College. We've got an unbelievable crowd here. I can't even say enough about the people who came out. And of course, Batavia Downs Gaming and Western OTB, a proud supporter of the ML Sports Platter, basically supporting this event here. And make sure if you're out and around the Western New York area, you get to the branches all across Batavia, Rochester, Buffalo, you name it. Place is fantastic, and they do a lot of cool sports memorabilia shows at Western New York OTB and Batavia Downs Gaming. Of course, Thurman Thomas's restaurant is out there as well. So make sure that you do lean on the folks at Western New York OTB and Batavia Downs Gaming for the entire horse racing season, and you can follow them all over social media and the like. Pretty cool stuff here at the Phoenix Sports Restaurant. I just had a dozen wings about, a half hour ago. Really, really good time visiting with a lot of people. They're making their bets. So get down here. They're going to be here all day. Buckets are $18. 6 beers for $18. Cans, bottles, you name it. They're serving up all sorts of stuff. People were eating breakfast earlier today. They've got an amazing array of desserts here. Everything is happening here. Kentucky Derby Saturday. And you can try to win a T-shirt and a glass here as well. We got a bunch of quick races here, and then we're going to get into the 145th Run for the Roses at Churchill Downs. Just an unbelievable event, and I will tell you, from going to the event 3 years ago, you've got to get there. I mean, when you talk about American sports fan bucket list stuff, we're talking Derby, we're talking Army-Navy, we're talking any of the golf majors. This is a premier event to go to. So I would recommend it big time. 3 years ago, I went to the Derby and saw Nyquist win, and then he had a very, very disappointing season the rest of the way. I thought that horse had a shot, actually, at winning at least the first 2 legs of the Triple Crown. He reminded me a lot of California Chrome, but unfortunately didn't have a great year. So anyway, thanks again to Brian Dahl for jumping on the podcast. I'm Mike Lindsley here again at the Phoenix Sports Restaurant, a proud sponsor of the ML Sports Platter, supported by Western New York OTB and Batavia Downs Gaming. Terrific, terrific stuff here. Get down here. Food, drink, bets, Derby, you name it. And as I always tell you, enjoy the games.